I'm of the firm belief that marketing should be compensated and tied to revenue, just like sales, because you'll get better output and you'll get better performance. My name is Josh McKelvey. I manage about $6 million a year in ad spend for clients. I've been doing this, working with larger sales organizations for about 8 years now, closer to 10. And the only purpose of this channel is to do two things. One, teach you exactly what's going on in marketing, actually from somebody that's boots on the ground in 2026 and works with companies like yours. And number two is to really preach, you need to learn how to do marketing in-house. Stop outsourcing it. If you do your fulfillment in-house, you do your sales in-house, you should probably figure out how to do marketing in-house, and you're probably not focused on the right things. The only purpose of marketing is to generate more leads. Now, without further ado, let's get to the video. Here's why marketers should be compensated exactly how salespeople are. Salespeople, yes, they're arguably the most important people in an organization, but marketers should be compensated the same way. Lead generation takes so many different skills to be very, very good at. It takes a lot of years of experience. You have to be very much multifaceted, and that takes an entrepreneurial type of person. So that's why a lot of lead generation is outsourced, but you have to be careful at the same time because it's also a very easy business to start, especially for younger entrepreneurs who may not know what they're doing. So I think that's why a lot of business owners end up getting burned. I want to tell you a story about a client. So they had this marketing guy for a very long time, and he was a retainer-based marketer. And this guy has over 500, so he claims, I don't think it's 500, but 500 customers paying him a retainer. And he's just one guy. I think he might have a couple of part-time, contractors help him out. But this particular client is in the debt relief space, and this marketer's cost per enrollment, which is, basically the ultimate goal, was over $5,000. And what he was telling the client is, oh yeah, that's completely normal. This happens all the time. I see this for all my clients. The problem with retainers is that you're not incentivized. The marketing agency isn't incentivized to actually put the work in. How I think any entrepreneur wants to feel is, hey, if I directly work on this, it can make me more money. I ran a retainer business. I grew it to about 7 figures a year. The model doesn't work because in order for me to scale my business, I have to do one thing very well over and over and over and over and over again, just like a conveyor belt, like an assembly line. And what happens when you're on a retainer is you're basically a remote employee, and clients will ask, can you do this and this and this and that? And ultimately it becomes very hard for the agency owner to scale. But then at the same time, because they're asking, every client is asking you to do a million different things, you can never be great at one thing. So that's why I don't like retainers. That's why I believe performance-based marketing is the way to go. As you know, I've said this a million times, there's only one purpose of marketing, and that purpose is to drive more leads. The only way that doesn't matter as much as if you're a massive, massive brand, yes, then focus on branding. But other than that, you just need more customers to grow. So stop focusing on the wrong things. The only thing that matters is lead generation, so figure it out. You're gonna optimize the campaigns better. Because you're not on a retainer, you're not focused on, hey, can you build out this AI bot, or can you post on our social media? No, because you do one thing. You're directly tied to how much revenue you drive, for instance, from paid ads, and that's the only thing you're gonna focus on. And the better you do and the harder you work, the more money you're gonna make. I'm of the firm belief that marketing should be compensated and tied to revenue, just like sales, because you'll get better output and you'll get better performance. If you're a business owner or a sales director, or you're in charge of hiring marketers and trying to find lead generators, don't even pay per lead. I don't like the pay per lead model. You can, but guys could get leads for 20 bucks and be selling it to you for 100. That also doesn't make sense. It should be tied directly to revenue, because you don't know what requirements they're putting into their form. You don't know the quality of their leads. You don't know what you're paying for. All you know is after the first order, when you pay $5,000 for 50 leads and you're like, I didn't even get in touch with them. Don't do that. It should be a partnership. Paid ads is the easiest way to do it. Not on Reddit, not on Snapchat. And I'm speaking directly to service-based businesses, at any scale. Use Facebook or Google. Facebook's easier to figure out how to get leads. Focus on one at a time, create one predictable client acquisition system and scale it up. It's about dollars in versus dollar out. You put $1 in, you should get $3 out. You put $100,000 in, you should get $300,000 out. And scale it up. That's how it works. There's 3 parts of business. I'll say this over and over and over: marketing, sales, fulfillment. Don't overcomplicate it. What marketing means is lead generation. So you need predictable lead system, you need sales, and you need fulfillment, actually doing the work. If you're thinking about hiring a marketing team, don't sign contracts. Don't sign a 3-month contract. Find somebody that's willing to work on a performance basis, who is incentivized exactly the way you are to drive more revenue. Find somebody that's competent and willing to work like that, and I promise you, your marketing will take off.